Hi everybody, Bud Jeffries. Listen, I'm going to talk to you more about unconventional training, okay, and what we're doing, and sort of moving into the unconventional training and lifestyle patterns, okay? So, let me tell you what I think one of the biggest obstacles, biggest problems, mistakes in unconventional training today is. The stuff that's outside the norm is whatever, is drinking your own Kool-Aid, okay? Or expecting super results from things that you're not specifically training, okay? So let me tell you something. The guys who do this are awesome guys, okay? And everybody sells their own products, and that's awesome, man. I use myself as a living example of that what I do works. But let's talk about specifics for what you're getting, okay? And expecting to be able to transfer amazing ability in one area to the other without training it, just because you do something that's cool, is probably not necessarily going to give you what you want, okay? There was an example in the early days of Milo magazine. A guy wrote about fighting, okay? And he was talking about this. He said, I go in a bar and I have a 5'3", 125-pound super ninja master guy on one end of the bar who knows the death punch or whatever, okay? And then on the other end of the bar, I have 5'6", 250-pound Jake the Fireplug, who is a monster lifter with a 450 or 500-pound bench press and a 600, 800-pound squat, okay? Who's going to win? Well, what he was trying to say is that they're very specifically training for very specific things, and you can't necessarily compare those things. And don't expect it, because if you train to be a 5'3", 112-pound ninja master, that you're going to walk in and dominate in the other world, or that if you're a big monster guy and train the other way, that you're going to walk in and dominate in the other world. And he also talked about this. What he was talking about is there is the specifics of strength. Okay, so here's what I mean: the ability to generate force when you are a bigger, stronger human being in a lot of different ways is kind of pretty rowdy. Okay. Again, I'll give you another dead example of this, and I've told this story a few times, but I'm going to tell it again because it bears repeating, okay? I trained at a martial arts seminar. I went to a guy with some relatively famous dudes, and took a buddy of mine. Now, this kid was 16, 17 years old at the time, but he'd been training with me. He was training very heavy, and we did a lot of unconventional stuff, man. Lots of farmer's walks, lots of crazy stone lifting, you know, different conditioning and stuff, along with lots of basic lifting, all right? And they did this drill where you had to grab each other's hand and try to pull each other around. And so it's one guy goes, the other guy goes. Okay, so the guy who goes, they're the same size. Guy's 40 years old. He does, man, he's a master gymnastic guy. He does all kind of crazy unconventional stuff, and it's awesome. And he's very quick and very movable, okay, and that kind of thing. And he tries to drag my little buddy around. They're both 180 pounds, and he goes to drag him, and he's just not really moving him. He's, you know, whipping around, doing all kind of stuff. Nothing's happening. Then all of a sudden, it's my little buddy's turn, okay? Now, so what he does is just the simplest thing in the world. This guy has no martial arts experience, but he has power, okay, that can then be applied once he learns something. So he just simply clamps down on the guy's hand until his fingers are about to break, and then drags him around the room and slams him to the ground like Fred Flintstone, okay? Why? Because an overwhelming amount of power will transfer. Now, an overwhelming amount of anything, speed or whatever, will transfer, but don't let yourself get cut out of thinking you're going to be super awesome and you're going to walk over and dominate a big monster guy because you suddenly can move awesome, or you're going to go, you know, kill it on a football field because you can do lots of cool little flippy stuff. Listen, basics have to be trained and specifics have to be trained, okay? So, what would have been the real winner there? The real winner there would have been the guy who did the power training that the one guy did and the unconventional training that the other guy did, and had the actual martial specific experience. He would have dominated everybody in that. So if you're not getting the specifics, don't expect magic out of just because it says unconventional. Learn the specifics, but then get awesome at what you want to do. And use those unconventional things. Do the cool stuff, because they are the things that require massive physical spectrums of ability. Flexibility, mobility, speed, coordination, all important things. But don't think it's magic unless you put in the work to get ultra powerful as well.